This is Los Angeles. The time, January 23rd, 1948. Just an ordinary evening. Until 8:47 p.m., when the police radio crackled.
All units, stand by. 16T is in pursuit, southbound on Vermont from Hollywood Boulevard. Come in, 16T. 16T is in pursuit of suspects believed to be red light bandits. Suspect is still southbound on Vermont, approaching 3rd Street. 61A has joined pursuit. Suspect's car just turned on 6th Street. Suspect turned on Shadow Place. All units, suspects are in custody at 6 and Shadow Place.
Seen the capture of the red light bandit. This marked the ending of a vicious 20-day crime spree and the beginning of modern history's most bizarre battle over capital punishment. One story ended here. Another began here. In a moment, 12 years later, the follow-up.
During the month of January 1948, the city of Los Angeles was terrorized by a man called the Red Light Bandit. He roamed the city at night in a car equipped with a red spotlight and preyed on people in parked automobiles. His male victims were robbed and his female victims were kidnapped and assaulted. On January 23rd, 1948, a man was arrested and charged with being the Red Light Bandit. The reign of terror ended. That man was Caryl Chessman. He was tried and convicted on 17 felony counts, including 2 kidnappings. Although he hadn't killed anyone, Chessman was sentenced to die in San Quentin's gas chamber. His fight to stay alive has been told to the entire world. Almost everyone knows his story. As a result of the publicity given him, a tremendous furor has arisen. Some people feel he deserves whatever he gets. On the other hand, some say he's suffered enough. In all the charges and countercharges, another story has been forgotten. The story of Mary Alice Meza, the 17-year-old girl who was kidnapped and assaulted by Chessman. For his crime against her, Chessman was sentenced to die. What has happened to Mary Alice Meza? Today, she lives here, California's Camarillo Hospital for the Mentally Ill. Tonight, Follow-Up tells her story. And to help us in the studio is her mother, Mrs. Ruth Meza. Mrs. Meza, how old was your daughter when she was kidnapped?
She was just 17 years old.
Was she going to high school at the time?
She had graduated from high school about 6 months before. Catholic Girls High School on West Pico.
Where had your daughter been the night of the kidnapping?
She had been to a parish dance with a group of young people whom she ordinarily went.
What time did she ordinarily arrive home from these affairs?
The usual time was not later than 12 o'clock.
And what time did she get home this night?
Around 4 o'clock the following morning.
Were you up when she came in?
Yes.
What was your daughter's condition when she came in?
She was obviously very upset, very stunned, but she wouldn't talk. She wouldn't talk at all.
Did she tell you about the kidnapping?
She didn't say a word. She said, "Oh, Mother, don't ask me anything."
When did you find out about the kidnapping?
The police called just a few minutes after she had come into the house.
How long did Chessman have her in his automobile?
About 4 hours.
He threatened her with a gun?
Yes, he did.
Did he make any other threats as to what he would do if she went to the police?
He told her that he would kill her.
How long has your daughter been in Camarillo, Mrs. Meza?
For 10 years.
Did she ever show any signs of mental trouble before this incident?
Never.
This picture was taken within a few weeks of the kidnapping, is that right?
Yes, it was.
And this picture was taken after she became ill?
Yes, it was taken after she had been committed to the hospital.
How much time elapsed between these pictures?
Approximately a year and a half.
18 months.
Yes.
I know you've talked to the doctors many times about her case. Do they hold any real hope that she will be well again?
No, they don't. She has been ill a long time now.
When did you last visit her?
I last saw her yesterday.
And what was her condition at that time?
She was withdrawn, obviously ill, very nervous, and she just is a very sick girl.
Is she able to dress herself
No, she isn't.
and feed herself?
So, occasionally she can. Occasionally.
Does she talk to you? Does she visit with you?
No.
Does she
No.
recognize you when you...
Oh, yes. Yes, she knows. She knows.
But withdrawn, as you mentioned before.
Yes, yes.
Now, your daughter lived with you from the time of the kidnapping until she became ill, is that right?
Yes, she did.
Was she afraid of Chessman during that time?
All of that time.
Did she go out very much?
Yeah, in the beginning, she did go out after the kidnapping. We tried to keep her in her social life, to block out this terrible memory. But gradually she became withdrawn, and it seemed to be very difficult for her to go out. She showed signs of extreme anxiety.
Mrs. Meza, did some specific incident occur which caused you to take her to the hospital? Was she afraid of you or
Yes.
her brother?
Yes, she was. She became very disturbed one night, and unreasonably so, and said that she feared both of us. And it was at that time that we called the doctor.
Your daughter's been in Camarillo for 10 years now. Is there any real improvement in her condition?
No.
Do you think that Caryl Chessman's execution may have some effect on your daughter's mind?
I do not know. That is a very difficult question.
Do you think she would realize that he was executed?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Now, Mrs. Meza, final and very important question. From what you know of your daughter, whom you raised from infancy, is there any doubt in your mind at this time that Caryl Chessman is the person responsible for her present mental condition?
There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever today, nor has there been since the beginning of her illness, that Chessman was the cause of her falling so ill.
Thank you, Mrs. Meza, for helping us follow up a portion of the Caryl Chessman story. And we'll be back in just a moment. There is a group of people who call themselves friends of Chessman. They insist that he has suffered enough, that taking his life in the gas chamber would serve no purpose except that of vengeance. They claim that living more than 11 years under the shadow of death constitutes cruel and inhuman punishment. They ask that Chessman be given a new trial, or that the governor commute his sentence to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. They say that if Chessman could never be paroled, justice would certainly be served. What they do not say is this, that another man, David Knowles, was arrested with Chessman, that he was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. Yet David Knowles is walking the streets today a free man. Tomorrow, Follow-Up will introduce you to some people who believe Chessman deserves the right to live. And we will tell you about the man who was sentenced to life.